Welcome to the Audiophile Barista's weekly vlog number 81, the first one of 21. So everybody, welcome to 2021, especially my American friends. Glad you're still here. Another year, another vlog. So let's make some coffee, let's play some music. And I have a little bit of a surprise, new stuff here. I'm going to tell you all about it. Let's play some music. There we go. So I bought me some fresh coffee beans, and you can see the crema on fresh coffee beans is always a lot better than with supermarket coffee or with some older coffee. Let's have a sip. Oh yeah, this is perfect. So let's put you down over here. Okay, so what have we here? Over here we have some SYNN loudspeakers. This is the company. I don't know what model it is because there's absolutely no information I can find about this thing. It looks impressive, but I actually don't think they are very good. So why do I have them? Well, that's quite an interesting story. At Craigslist, I saw them here in Rotterdam. I made the guy an offer, and he said, well, that's not enough. I want more, but why don't you come and have a listen? Because I'm sure that when you listen to them, you will find them absolutely amazing and you will pay the price that I want you to pay. I said, well, okay. So I went there. I listened to them, and this guy was an audiophile. Just like me, he had a big system in the main living room, just like I have here. And he had a smaller room, just like I have, with all kind of other stuff. And in the smaller room, he demonstrated these loudspeakers. I believe it was a NAD amplifier and a Philips or a Marantz CD player. Not remember exactly. I do remember listening to them and thinking, well, these are not very impressive. Everything sounded a little bit the same. All the different CDs that he put on, it was like the flavor of the loudspeaker itself was getting through too much to all the music. So I said, well, for the price that you are asking, I'm not interested. So I went away, and a few weeks later, apparently nobody liked this thing, so he couldn't get rid of them. He called me, he said, nobody wants them. If you want them for the price that you offered, the low price that I offered, you can have them. He knew I did not have a car because I went with the bicycle to him last time. He said, I even bring them by. So, well, okay, that's fine, then I'll do it. So that's how I bought them. If you look at my video, I did a room tour video of my office where I have all kind of also audiophile stuff. For that office, they have the perfect size and shape, and of course they do look impressive. So for the office, these things are absolutely perfect, mainly because even though these are 1 meter and 82 centimeters high, exactly the same height as me, the footprint over here, the space they take on the floor compared to my wonderful Auxilia, is just tiny. So it is a perfect fit for my office. And it plays music, as you can hear. It works. But I also have the feeling that the mids and highs are louder than the bass driver. So if I'm playing loud, the mids and highs will be at perfect volume, but the bass is a little bit too, well, not loud enough. And if I turn up the volume to have the bass as I like it, the mids and highs are too loud. But I'll never play them that loud downstairs. The reason I took them upstairs to play here for a little while is because, as you can see, my AITOS equipment that broke down just before Christmas, I had them repaired, and unfortunately almost immediately after they come back, they broke down again. This is the preamplifier, and somehow the phono part stopped working. There's no signal going to the preamp, so I can't play my records at the moment, even though it was just completely revised and checked, but something went miss. Well, this thing is 35, almost 40 years old, so I don't care too much. If this was a new amplifier, I would have a problem with that, but this just happens. But then also one of the tubes started to making some noises. The sound was not completely what I was used to it, so that made me very, very grumpy. There's not much that can get me down, but if my stuff is not working, I'm really in a bad mood. And the thing is, I was playing all the time with my Auxilias. Now these have a 98 dB sensitivity, so if there's any noise inside of your equipment, it will show up here. So what I did is I changed to the Tannoy M1s right over here, and just for fun I thought, well, why not pick up the SYNNs and get them out in the open and have a listen to maybe my idea about how they sound will change. Well, until now it didn't, but these are a joy to look at. If they only were also a joy to listen to, it would be just perfect. They don't sound bad, but everything sounds a little bit the same, and there's the unevenness that I just told you about. So the AITOS went wrong. So I picked up my Quad 99 series and I played them, and actually this was still when I had the Auxilia connected, and after some days this started to make noises also, and that's the moment that I changed the Auxilias for the Tannoys. And I thought, well, if this thing breaks down, I don't want them to explode and what is the right word? Break down the Auxilias. So I thought, well, if something went wrong and they damage, that's the word that I'm looking for, and they will damage the loudspeakers, I rather have them damage the Tannoys, because those only costed me some 40 bucks, and the Auxilias were a lot more expensive. Let me pick up some more coffee. Okay, so the quad broke down, at least that's what I thought. So I changed, that's the advantage of having a lot of stuff here, so I changed to the Marantz amplifier. This used to be my girlfriend's, so I put that one over there. And after some days the same thing happened. When we were watching a movie, the right channel kept checking out. So I was thinking, what is happening? Everything that I put there, all the amplification breaks down. In the end, it turned out that the cable going from the preamp to the power amp, which I had changed to be the cable from the DA converter going to the input on the quad or the Marantz. And it was like that, the cable was broke down. Fortunately, I have another long cable, so when I put that one in, I had to go back, of course, play the Marantz for a few days, and indeed nothing, no more strange noises. So then I had to go back to the quad again to see if that thing is also working, and it appears that this thing is also doing well. But then again, if there are noises coming from the quad itself, even though I changed the cable, it will be much harder to hear them. I don't know what the sensitivity on this thing is, but it's obviously not as high as the Oscillias. Really guys, if you have never experienced a real high sensitivity loudspeaker, like 98 dBs like I have here, everything, every little noise that is in your system, you will hear it. It will be gone as soon as you play music, but every little thing will be audible. And with lower sensitivity loudspeakers, you can disguise that a lot. You won't hear that a lot. So this also says something about the music that you are listening to. On a high sensitivity system, the smallest details will be much more easy to come through and be heard, instead of on a lower sensitivity. But then again, if you put a lot of power in it, you may hear everything again. So that is the hobby, my friends. This is what happens during the holidays, and every time my stuff broke down, and you know, it gets me down if that happens. By the way, this is what we are listening to at the moment. Okay, so now the Quad 99 series has been playing for a few days. Everything seems to go okay, and I'm playing this thing for a few times now. Another reason to put the SYNNs up here is that if you have a lot of stuff like I do, it is very wise to make sure that everything will play every now and then. So you have to pick them up and put them in your system so they get a few days of play, instead of having them years and years without playing and then plugging them in and maybe discovering that they went bad over time. Electronics needs to play to stay healthy. You know, I'm not a technician, so I don't know why or if I'm correct, but that's how I feel. Anyways, these are the SYNN loudspeakers. One day I will do a review. I think they look beautiful, and if you see how thin, if you go all the way to the top, how thin they become. And I have them on little spikes because there is like a port, but it is down here. You cannot put them straight on the floor because you will block the port. And because of the small footprint and the height that they have, this is also a little bit of a scary. I keep hoping they don't tip over and fall. Okay, enough rambling for today. This is the end for the first vlog of 2021. Please stay safe and I'll see you next week.